Last week, Sean Hannity of Fox News interviewed Donald Trump and asked him about Russia's hypersonic missile program. I want to go ahead and play that clip, and then we're going to unpack it.
And Russia has hypersonics. We don't. Are you ready?
Because during Obama's administration, they stole the design Russia stole the design. They got it from
Us.
There's a lot to unpack from that 14-second clip. The first takeaway should be, if Russia stole this technology from the United States, we, the people, the taxpayers, should be demanding our money back from the U.S. hypersonic program. Because the reality is, Russia does have one hypersonic weapon that barely works. The first one, some people are already familiar with. That is the Kinzhal dagger, KH-42. This is not a hypersonic weapon. The Kinzhal is based on the Iskander-M, which is a short-range ballistic missile that has a range of about 500 kilometers. Russia also developed the Iskander-K. This is a ballistic cruise missile based on the Iskander-M. So unlike the Iskander-M, which flies on a ballistic trajectory, it goes up, comes down on an arch, the Iskander-K operates like a cruise missile. It launches out of a launcher and flies a more straight path. Both the Iskander-M and the Iskander-K are about 8 meters long and about 1 meter in diameter, which is really amazing because that's the same size as the Kinzhal. That means that all the Kinzhal is an air-launched short-range ballistic missile. If they stole this technology from the United States, then they're stealing 1970s technology. The U.S. was lobbing ICBMs out of the back end of 747s back in the 1970s and conducted several successful tests. They just concluded this wasn't a viable solution. And strapping a short-range ballistic missile to a tactical aircraft does not make it a hypersonic weapon. Because if we define hypersonic weapon strictly on the basis that it is faster than Mach 5, hypersonic speed, then the Germans had a hypersonic weapon in 1942. That was called the V-2 rocket. Yes, the first successful test flight of the V-2 was in 1942. We were lied to in high school, Gen X, when we were told it was in late 1944. The other weapon system that Russia has, which is closer to the definition of a hypersonic weapon, is Zircon. And Russia used 4 of them against Ukraine in 2024. So we know things about it now. And the first thing is, it's not a true hypersonic weapon because in its terminal phase, that is, when it is flying to target, it has to slow down out of hypersonic speed and go into supersonic because all of its guidance and targeting systems have been blinded by the plasma that has built up around it because it's traveling over Mach 5 during its transition phase. Of the 4 Zircon missiles that were used against Ukraine last year, 2 of them failed to achieve hypersonic speed. For whatever reason, they did not engage that second engine that would move them up past Mach 5. One appears to have broken up while in flight, and the second one, because it was just traveling at supersonic speed, was shot down. And because it was shot down, there was an extensive amount of debris that was able to be collected, including the warhead, which didn't explode. The biggest thing learned was about the warhead, and it turns out that the Russian Ministry of Defense exaggerated the truth. Shocker, I know. Can't believe that they would ever do that. Instead of the claimed 150 kilogram warhead, it has a 50 kilogram warhead. Now, right now, people are rushing to the comments going, but it's traveling at hypersonic speed. It's over Mach 5, so it has the kinetic force, but it doesn't in the terminal phase travel above Mach 5. It has to slow back down because it can't track the target. It's blinded by the plasma that is surrounding it because it is going so fast through the atmosphere. But there was one follow-up question which Sean Hannity didn't ask. which I'm not surprised he didn't, which is this. If Russia is stealing United States military technology, which they are, they have, we know this, then how can President Donald Trump look at Vladimir Putin, who was president during part of the time that Barack Obama was president of the United States, and go, Putin is my friend. I understand him. If someone's stealing from me, they're not my friend. And they're out. I think this is a pretty basic rule of life for most people. The final takeaway is this. Russia doesn't really have hypersonic weapons. You can squint really hard and torture the truth to kind of say Zircon is close. And if Russia stole US technology to get where they're at today, then US technology has a lot of problems. And the reality is the US hypersonic program is much further along than any other nation on the planet claiming they have hypersonic weapons, because they're holding on to this definition of it's faster than Mach 5. And again, if that's the reality, hypersonic weapons have existed since 1942.